Welcome to the Wow Factor Radio, brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo. I am your host, Chris Garrett, and my very special guest today and dear friend is Karen Oberlohr from Eagle, Colorado. Karen, I'm so glad you could join me today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you've taken on a heck of a job, and I know that you didn't think you should be interviewed for this, but I am so glad that you agreed to, because I think it's one of the biggest and most fun parts of the whole expo, and that is that you are managing and producing the main event. Can you tell our listeners what that is? What is the main event?
I'm assisting in the production, and the main event is actually a gala event. It's for entertainment, where we have use of spotlights. There's music involved. This year, we have a very, very exciting show planned. We have many, many different breeds, from the Mustangs to the Arabs to the Icelandics. We have different riding styles that we are bringing in, and we're very, very excited to have such a versatile program this year.
Well, I know you're originally from Germany, but is that where you got involved in the equestrian theater and exhibitions?
Yes, I did. In the late 70s, friends of ours imported some Akaltikis from Russia, and so we started going to different events and presenting the breed and promoting the breed that way, and this is how I got introduced to entertainment. So we started riding first a little locally, and then we got better and better over time, and we also used the entertainment to educate people about the breed, because it was not a very common breed at the time, and I think to this day it is still not. And this brought me to a lot of fun events, and I got to see many different riding styles, and this is where my love for entertainment and exhibition was born.
I know you have performed many, many times at the stock show and in the main event, and for our listeners, you may recognize Karen's horses if you're watching this on our YouTube video. She rode Jalapeno, your Andalusian, your white Andalusian, gray-white Andalusian, and you have also performed a lot with a very special young man named Milo. Can you tell us about Milo?
Milo is unique in every way. First of all, he's a breeding accident. I should not repeat it on purpose. He is a half Andalusian, half miniature horse. He's a stallion, and he is unique in the other way that he's trained in long lines in the classical way of the Spanish riding school, and it has given me an opportunity to learn a whole different connection with the horse, because he is so small that he cannot be ridden, and therefore you have to train everything in hand. And so he knows some of the high school jumps, and he is also classically trained in dressage in long lines.
So in all your performances that you've done in Germany and in the United States, what's your favorite standout experience? Do you have a story you can share with us?
I have many, actually, because I think all my events were unique in many ways. National Western Dancing Horses was always wonderful because you work with a live orchestra. So this was very unique, but I think the most outstanding performance, if you ask me, or the most memorable experience was when we took the Akaltikis to Equitana in Essen, which is the largest horse expo in the world, and it goes on for 2 weeks. And it was in the early 80s, and we had performers there from all over Europe, and all the top performers like Luis Valenza from Portugal and Rafael Curado from Spain. We had Lipisanos from Lipisa there. So it was a very, very unique event that I think imprinted me in my whole way of thinking and where I wanted to take my riding in the future.
Oh, I bet that was a fun experience. And you rode the Akaltekis in that, you said?
We rode the Akaltekis there, but we weren't good enough for the evening gala show, because like I said, there were top trainers from all over Europe, but we opened the show with a breed show, so we were the first horses in the arena. But then the really fun part was that we got to take the horses back into the barn, and then we could watch the events. And that was very unique. I learned a lot. And then the Lipizaners, they had, there was a flu going on, whatever. They lost some of their riders, so they came to me in the second half of the expo, and they asked me if I could ride one of the Lipizaners in a very Baroque costume. And I think this was one of my stepping stones to go into the direction where I went with my riding.
Now, I know there are going to be people who will come to this show and say, wow, I have a horse, or I'm going to get a horse, or my daughter's going to get a horse, and I would love to do something like that. What advice would you give them if this was something they were considering? And can just anybody do this?
Anybody can do this, absolutely. You can start out in smaller venues, in your own barn, have like a Christmas riding celebration, and get your feet wet this way, or you can also perform in front of 4-H clubs, and you will get more and more experience because the horses need the experience as well. It's not only the riders, because in an exhibition there's a lot of distraction for the horse. So the horse definitely doesn't react the same way as they react at home. And so I think starting out with smaller venues is always wonderful. Another wonderful place to start out with is the Boulder County Fair, ballet on horseback, because there are no spotlights involved and everything. The main event is very unique because it's one of very few events in Colorado where we have the full use of spotlights and the nice sound system. So it's a very nice production.
It is a beautiful production. I've been filming it for years. And now I know spotlights, two things, spotlights and clapping are two things that do seem to bother horses quite a bit that haven't been exposed to it. And do you have some suggestions on how people can practice at home? Like could they get friends to come over and clap, or use like a spotlight of some kind they can get at a Home Depot or something? Will that work?
Well, you can always do something like that because the spotlight is more of creating a shadow. So horses have to get used to that. In some arenas, the regular lights create shadows, so it's a form of practice. The clapping, I have found that horses are okay, especially in this particular arena because the audience is set higher and the horse is in the arena, and we never really had many problems, maybe with a few, but then we also ask the people to hold the applause and make some noise, do different things with your horses. The more you can expose them to unique things, I think the more horses will also trust you and then will not get overly excited when you can be there for them.
Okay, that's really good advice. So this year's main event, when should people be there? Where can they get more information? And what do they need to know?
Well, the main event happens on Friday night, the 11th at 7 o'clock, and on Saturday night, the 12th of March, also at 7 o'clock. And for more information, people can go onto the Colorado Horse Council website. There's a link to the Rocky Mountain Horse Expo 2016. And you just browse over the page, and there's a whole write-up about the main event and where you can get the tickets, and everything is pretty much explained right there.
Okay, terrific. And we'll tack on a copy of the trailer that shows some of previous main event shows, some of the performers, and some of those same performers will be back again this year, and there will also be a few brand new ones too, won't there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we are always looking for variety, so we don't want to be repetitive, and we are very fortunate that we now have a whole group of people who want to perform on a regular basis, but also people have been getting inspired over the last few years watching the events, and they will be in the show. We have a couple of them. They will be in the show this year, so this will be their first time, and they're very excited about it.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see the show. It is one of the highlights of the expo and something that I never miss. I'm really happy. I know it's going to be a really good one this year. I know some of the writers, and I wish you were riding in it, but I know it's hard to produce it and direct it and write it in the same time. So I know you.
I'm taking a break this year, and this is fine because I'm really focusing on promoting the main event. Our goal is to fill the arena. And there are quite a few seats to fill, but we're excited, and with the right word-to-mouth promotion, I know we can get the word out about the event, plus the tickets really are not that expensive. So it is a very nice family event, and it's affordable as well.
All right. So once again, that's going to be March 11 and 12, Friday and Saturday nights, the end of the expo, 7 o'clock. Be there. You can get your tickets at www.RockyMountainHorseExpo.com. And we look forward to seeing you there and seeing a brand new show. I'm so glad you're doing it this year. Thanks for all the work you're putting into it.
Well, thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing many, many faces. And afterwards, I hope people also come down to the meet and greet and meet all the riders, and then they can exchange information as well. It's always a very fun social event for everybody.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you, Karen, for joining me today. We'll see you up at the National Western Events Center in just a couple of weeks, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Chris. See you there.
And thank you for joining us at the Wow Factor Radio. Please join us again next week for a brand new show. This is Chris Garrett. Bye-bye.